was last week like? You were iffy for the game and you were rehabbing like crazy, and then you were able to play. What was that process like?
I mean, I feel like it's just part of football. You tweak something, you hurt something, and you just try to do everything you can to get back out there because at the end of the day, it's your job. And I felt pretty good at Friday's practice last week, so we decided to go ahead and play the game, and felt pretty good.
How helpful is your medical background? Obviously, the Jets have good trainers and doctors, but you are a doctor. How helpful is that in coming back from an injury in terms of knowing certain things?
I don't know if it's helpful because you ask yourself a lot of questions, but I think for me, as soon as you know that you're not going to make it worse by playing and that it's just a pain tolerance thing, then you can push it and try to get back out there. And that was exactly my case. So I did everything I can from, taping, spatting, and everything, perspective to reduce the pain, and went out there. But, I mean, sometimes, I'm not sure, sometimes it can trick you too. Yeah.
With the offensive line has really come together, and you were added midstream.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the unit and the chemistry in the group?
I really felt welcome, honestly, when I first got here, 5 weeks ago. Got the start against Miami 4 weeks ago, so it's and there was a lot of new thing for me back then in terms of playbook communication on the line of scrimmage and stuff. So it's gonna be good to go back out there with more knowledge of the playbook and more chemistry on the line for sure. But the guys have been amazing. They welcome me in, and I already feel like home. So I guess that's a good thing.
Have you guys discussed next year at all? As far as this is the last year of your contract, right?
I think so. Honestly, I think there's one more year.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah. Not really, to be honest. For me, I was pretty realistic too with the fact that I opted out last year. Coming back here, playing 4 weeks ago was my first game in 18 months. So before talking about next year, you got to show what you can do this year. Yeah.
What are your thoughts as an expert about the latest COVID situation related to the NFL?
Related to the NFL?
Yeah, it seems to be an uptick, and there's some new measures being put in.
No, I think it's great, and that's coming from the health and safety, the joint committee of the NFLPA and NFL. And I mean, I had the privilege to sit on that committee last year, so I feel like it's they know what they're doing, and at the end of the day, the goal is to make sure that we can play as many football games as we can in the safest environment possible. So, I mean, whether it's wearing the mask, washing your hands, doing the virtual meeting thing, if it takes to be able to play on Sunday, I think it's the least we can do.
Now, the vaccine does not prevent the virus, correct?
I mean, I don't want to start quoting number, but I think when it comes to Delta, if you got your 2 shot, it's 70% prevention of getting COVID, and with Omicron, it's 30% so far, I think, reduction, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still effective.
Because you see, obviously, with the vaccine and people saying you should get it, but it prevents the symptoms. Some people, I think Dr. Alan Sills of the league has also said prevents the symptoms, doesn't necessarily prevent testing positive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you look at it from a public health standpoint, what you want is to reduce the hospitalization and mortality. So, yes, you still can get COVID even if you're vaccinated fully. But at the end of the day, if you don't get too many symptoms and you're not hospitalized, that's a pretty big deal. So there's many things to look at when it comes to vaccination. But like I said, I'm not an expert. Not yet.
I know you haven't had much exposure to him, but Michael Carter, the running back,
yeah.
Do you have any initial impression of just watching him play, what he brings?
I haven't really seen him play except on film, but I've seen him, in the training room, in the locker room. Great leader, great guy, always smiling. So it's gonna be good to get him back out there. I think you need that type of leader on game day, somebody that that make a a hole and gets like 12 yards, and then you run down the field, you pick him up, he's smiling, he's excited. That's the type of guy you want to block for.
What are your emotions like when you watch Kansas City? I'm assuming you watched a little of the game last night. What goes through your mind and your...
I mean, of course, I watch the guys, like the O-line, how they play, and the game plan, how they approach the game. And, it's a big week for them, like a divisional opponent playing the Chargers. Like, I know the feeling. I've been playing them for the past 8 years. So, I was looking at the game. But at the end of the day, I feel like when you make those type of decisions, you cannot really look back. Like, I made that decision because I wanted to play football, and I'm here playing football. So that's all I can ask for, and try to make the best of that opportunity.